Hey guys, it's Davian. I've got a really cool video, a new one tonight. I'm actually going to answer a question that I received about fulfillment by Amazon in regards to how often and how frequent I should actually send product into FBA. When it deals with food, it's a little bit different, and it's going to have a lot of variations. It's really going to be variant upon the type of food product, and I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by that. So if you're not familiar with FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, of course, you send your product. We're specifically talking here about food. You send that out to Amazon. They're going to inventory that in their warehouse. Customer comes up and they click on the product and it's fulfilled by Amazon. The Prime, excuse me, I'm trying to fight a little bit of a cold. Sorry about that. So the Prime customers are going to get their free shipping, and it's going to entice customers because of that free shipping benefit. So you have a tendency to sell a lot more product if you are doing FBA and your customers happen to be Prime members. So how often should you send a food product in and replenish it? And what I mean by that is the question that was given to me by one of my viewers was, do you send in like 24 units? Should I send in 50 units? Should I send 100 bags or 100 units of product? I'm going to explain first off how I do it, and it's going to be really dependent upon the type of product. What I normally do with my products is I've got right now about 80 plus items that are in FBA. All of those, but I think we're going to guess about 70 of them are actually products that we make, and about 10 of them are products that are just items that we don't make. We just repackage and we put them into bundles and we ship them to FBA. So I'm going to write down a few factors that you need to think about to consider or figure out what would be the best frequency and how much of your product. With the products that we've got right now, I ship normally between 10 to 12 to maybe 16 units at the most, and there's a reason for that. So I'm going to take, for example, our brittle. We have a great full line. We have a huge full line of candy brittles. They are sugar-based. I don't know if you're familiar with brittles or not. We actually warm up the corn syrup and sugar to the point where it gets so hot. We add a nut or we add a dry fruit to it. We spread it out on a table and it cools off. And it re-solidifies, it re-hardens, and it becomes like a really hard candy. Now, it's a sugar-based candy that's had corn syrup in it. So we try to send in about 10 to 12 units of that at a time. And when I see it get to about 2 or 3 units in stock, I'll remake another 10 to 12 and ship them. So I keep a fresh batch of these in stock, but really try to keep no more than about a dozen at the most. Now, the reason why is that when you're warehousing a product like that, it has a good shelf life, but the problem is that you don't know exactly the conditions perfectly of what's going on in the warehouse when Amazon has it, okay? In regards to temperature of the warehouse, the handling, the picking up, how frequently is it moved around, or is it kept on the shelf? You got to also understand Amazon does in-house transfers, and what they'll do is that I traditionally ship most of my products to their North Carolina distribution facility. Once that stuff arrives there, a lot of times Amazon actually takes about 6 or 8 or 10 units and they'll move them around where they think it would be best for them to fulfill an order. Okay? So it gets transferred, it gets moved, it gets picked up. Now, with that being said, what I mean by the type of product, okay, the type of product that it is, I try to keep it to where you've got a handful of units that can turn over quick, can sell fast, and then you can replenish it, okay? I have a line of mixed nuts and seasoned nuts that we do as well. We have a lot of different flavorings. We have nearly 2 dozen flavors for about 10 different nuts that we have. Now with those, it's not a very heat sensitive, or it's not a very, if it's picked up and moved a lot, it's not going to have a lot of bearing on the quality of the product because, you know, nuts are nuts and they can be moved around without having to be damaged, or the temperature doesn't have to be regulated to the point where with brittle, if it's sugar-based candies, it has a tendency to either melt or stick, or the quality of the candy itself can actually become a factor, okay? And you don't want that for your customers if you've got something that's in stock and it starts to solidify. And this has happened a few times with our products, and that's why I'm talking about it. Now, if you're dealing with something that is not heat temperature or sensitive, like granola, for instance, or if you've got energy bars, anything that doesn't have a true base as just sugar or corn syrup, or something that could be really like chocolate coated if it's temperature based, those are the things that have a longer shelf life and they're kind of more of a durable item. So being picked up and moved and transferred, when it comes to nuts or granolas, sauces, and that types of thing, it's not really going to have a factor on the quality of the product. Okay, so that's something a lot of people don't think about. So if it's candy, you may have a tendency to want to ship out only a few at a time, sell through it, get rid of it, see your inventory's low, replenish it, okay? And like I said, we keep in about 12 to 14 units. There's some items that we bundle together that are candies that I know have a great shelf life and they're not truly sensitive to temperature. And they're individually wrapped. So those types of products too have a better tendency to be better off having been moved around or transferred. So I don't worry about the quality of those. Okay. When it comes to nuts, granola, those are much better. They last. They're more durable. If you're dealing with sauces and things, sauces, to be honest with you, even if it gets hot in a warehouse, a barbecue sauce, marinades, salsas, the way that they're processed and manufactured and made, you really don't have to worry about it. I mean, if it were to get 200 degrees or something, then I'm probably worried about it. But those warehouses don't get that hot. And many of these warehouses are are temperatured, excuse me, I'm sorry, they are kept at a certain temperature, so they're pretty good about that kind of product. So what you want to do is try to minimize the amount. I would not send, if you've got something that's temperature sensitive or if it can be handled a lot and can be damaged, like for instance, another item that we sell, but I don't FBA it for that reason, is our chocolate-coated pretzels. Our chocolate-coated pretzel rods. There are companies that I went on Amazon, they actually FBA their pretzel rods, and the feedback on them is horrible. I hate to say it, but a lot of customers complain about they're melted together, there's melting in the bag, they're broken. See, all of those things can contribute to the handling. Once it hits the warehouse floor, it can be moved around, grabbed, squeezed, and can break those items, okay? So there's a lot of things to think about depending on the type of food product that you're sending in. We have a brand new line of corn nuts that we just got put together that we have some really cool flavors, and we're getting ready to start FBAing those. We've had them on our store, and they sell like crazy through our store, but they haven't FBA'd them yet. So that's something that we're going to do soon. Hopefully near the Christmas time, we'll have them in stock in FBA for fulfilling. But the thing with the corn nuts, hold on one second. I'll grab you a bag. I'll show you. Okay, so sorry about that. All right, so this is the bag here. We actually haven't labeled it just yet. We just got these packaged up. This is a signature blend that we just put together of spices and herbs. And it's a cheddar wasabi, if I'm not mistaken. It's cheddar wasabi. So this type of bag of a product can be handled and moved around and squeezed, and it's not going to damage the product. If you're putting stuff like pretzels and chips and things like that, I'm not saying you can't do it, but just keep in mind that a lot of times the handling of it can be detrimental to the quality of the product, okay? So nuts and granola. If you have sauces or marinades, sauces and marinades and those something, like I said, if you're doing herbs like spice mixes, if you're doing teas or coffee, those are fine. Those are fantastic. They're hot sellers. They're huge sellers. And that's something that can't be damaged, okay? So just something really quick. I wanted to do this video. It's kind of in response again to that question that I got from a customer. Try to send just about a few units, 10 or 12 units at a time is what I would recommend. And then as you sell down, sell more. We have so many varieties of products, so by having 80 items in FBA, if I send out 10 items of each, you're talking about 800 units of product, and that's a good amount of product for just a handful of different flavors. So I hope this video helped you out. If it didn't, give me a thumbs down. If it did, give me a thumbs up. Also check out Marketing Food Online Channel 2. And I apologize, the video is a little rusty tonight. I'm finding a cold, so talking has been a bit of a challenge. So if you guys know anyone also that it can benefit from my videos, please send them my videos, let them know, or share them with some friends and family. And I hope to see you again on next time. Thanks.